Here's Danny, and this is my list of stuff that should go, stay, or at least be reworked for Battlefield 2018, which seems to be getting announced quite soon, looking at Randy Evans' tweet, the video producer at DICE. This video is inspired by Jack Rex, but I do think a little bit different about some things, so I decided to make my own video. I will keep everything in this video as short as possible, since there is a lot to talk about. Let's start off with the behemoths and elites. They look badass and amazing in videos, but sitting in a heavily armored kill machine, where you can't be stopped for a long amount of time, is just a bit silly. The only well implemented behemoth might be the airship, where you can get sniped out, or the carriages can be destroyed with you in it. And they kinda do punish the winning team. Replace them with elites. You can easily take them out with a bit of teamwork, or solo them if you have a bayonet. At least you can do that in Battlefield 1. No idea what next game has, of course. I like to see them as vehicles for infantry lovers, but they do need to be balanced a little bit better. No akimbo automatico that still has good range, for example. Elites are great for the little push a team might need. Next up is Conquest. It could use a bit of a rework. Let the majority rule from previous games return, where only the team that holds the most flags gains the points. But incentivize capturing and defending flags with big bonuses, like DICE has done at the start of Battlefield 1. At least till it got nerfed, because certain YouTubers started to complain. Kills without revives also count for points, of course. Then there are the medals. Keep what we have right now, with the tiered stuff, so they aren't just participation awards, where you have to shoot 5 guys with a weapon, then do that 50 times over again for a medal. But get rid of the random weekly distribution, which is what ruined it for me. So basically keep BF1 system, but let them all be active at the same time. At least if they don't cause tracking issues like we had with the Apocalypse patch and the assignments that got added. Then there's everybody's favorite topic, the gun mechanics, which might be one of the best changes to the game in my opinion. Gone are days of microbursting, where one short burst length is king on all ranges. In Battlefield 1, DICE added a first shot spread multiplier to the SMG's spread, where the first shot is the most accurate, then there will be a high spread increase on the second bullet, and then the following shots will have lower spread increase again. Which results in, the shorter the burst, the worse the weapon performs. Where a 2 or 3 round microburst would have reset the spread in Battlefield 3 and 4 already, the best way in Battlefield 4 is either to play single fire, or with a 5 round burst. But it all depends on the weapon and the range you are firing at. And then you have the not so random bullet deviation people seem to hate. It is added to limit a weapon inside their own range, so you can't really pick off people with a gun that isn't intended for longer ranges. Also, the randomness doesn't really fall outside of the weapon's cone of fire within its intended range. And since the cone of fire is slightly smaller than the chest of a soldier, you shouldn't have any problems with that. If you know your weapon, of course. And when looking back at previous games, and then I'm not talking about Battlefield 3, 4 or Hardline, but a classic Battlefield 2. If any one of you actually played it, you know the spread deviation in that game was insane. And it never really was a big problem for the community. Same case was for the Bad Company franchise actually. And see how popular that game is. They just adapted to the situation. Then there is spotting. Get rid of the always up-to-date 3D spots and replace it with a more realistic and skillful last known location system like Rainbow Six Siege has. We're just shooting at little Doritos in Battlefield for the past 10 years, and it's time to make a stop. For the minimap spotting, keep what Battlefield 1 has with its directional markers and the little square blips. Don't make Battlefield 2018 a minimap shooter. And then there is the big one, suppression, a pretty controversial topic. Some love it, others hate it, and I'm in the middle. I totally understand why it's there, how it works and what it does. But the biggest issue with it, DICE sucks at explaining it. For example, in Battlefield 1, suppression doesn't kick in at close range, since it's all range dependent. It does trigger to combat condition however, which means people can't spawn on you. So instead of removing it, explain how it works, what triggers it and what is the best thing to do. According to the Mice 99, you would need 100 SMG bullets to suppress someone on close range. So in horror gameplay that will never be an issue. And according to Dice Alate's weapon designer, Chad, the closer a bullet goes to the head, the higher the suppression effect will be, where a headshot deals the most. So instead of promoting missing, it requires you to aim as well as you can in order to trigger it. It also gives LMGs more sense. And then there is the customization. Let's start off with the weapons. I'm quite a fan of the variant system for balance reasons, since everything can be tweaked apart from each other by DICE. Think the trench variant needs more recoil of a certain gun? You can do that. Where in Battlefield 4 you had to touch the whole gun, also ruining less overpowered combos. Especially problematic with a gun for example like the AEK that was balanced around a very high recoil. But with the right attachments you could get rid of most of that. However, there need to be a lot more than in Battlefield 1. And instead of using two different iron sights, let the player choose any sight they want. I feel that would be the best of both worlds. No shitty or overpowered combinations, but you still have the way you want to play. And the same could be done for suppressors for example, if the team allows it of course. And it's not like Battlefield 4 had more than 3 good loadouts anyway. Then there is the visual stuff. Depending on the time where Battlefield 2018 plays, having different camo will be totally fine. Want blue pants? Sure, whatever. However, don't add new models, since every class has to be easily recognizable by just its silhouette. Staying on the topic of easily recognizable classes, the class uniqueness, something Battlefield 1 does really well and Battlefield 4 did very poorly. Every class in Battlefield 1 is unique, has its own playstyle, strengths and weaknesses. Where in Battlefield 4 there was so much overlap with each other, for example due to the all-kit carbines and DMRs. Or that 3 out of 4 classes had access to pretty powerful anti-tank stuff. And yes, I know, in Battlefield 1 you can tickle an enemy tank with K bullets, but that's not even close to a pack of C4. And of course the LMGs aren't 100 bullet assault rifles like they were. Then there is the melee. I like that there's multiple different styles, ranging from fast and weak to slow and powerful like in Battlefield Hardline. However, DICE added 2 new things to the melee system, which I don't really like. Front animations, when the enemy has a certain amount of health, and the worst thing of all, added aim assist on top of that. And I'd say I'm not a fan of that. The shooting in that Hardline still has the best melee system in the franchise, in my opinion. So get rid of the front takedown when in low health and the aim assist and then I'm happy. Then there is the premium pass. I will save this one for a different video to be honest. Not sure if I've made it when this video goes live, but it will happen. I'll link it in the description anyway, whenever it's done. Then let's talk about some other game modes. Frontline should stay, since in my opinion it's one of the best new game modes ever. Operations can also return, but please bring back the 40 player version. For the grenades, I hope some slower throw animations will return and you actually have to equip your grenade before throwing it. Like you had to do in BF2 or in games like CSGO. Make it a conscious decision. Also bring this to the melee system to stop panic knifing. Then let's talk about the rental server program. Well, it has gotten better over Battlefield 1 lifecycle. It is still pretty, let's say, lackluster. With important functions missing like server restarts, ways to temporarily ban people, a way to admin a game without loading in, having in-game messages, hell you can't even extend a server without waiting till the rent is over. It's like EA doesn't even want our money. I understand that DICE want to have everything more streamlined and having console RSP also improved. And that Procon was built over more than 8 years. But what we got right now is pretty bad. Oh, I really hope they improve and yeah. There are enough topics about this topic from actual server owners who can tell you way better than me. Then there is the server browser or the BF UI. It is missing a lot of functionality from Battlelog, but I will also make a dedicated video about that. But the most important things are the party system is very bad and broken and often enough doesn't work, or that it even doesn't show all your friends, or that it doesn't even show all your friends you have. It doesn't even show what server your friends are on. It is also pretty hard to share a server with your followers on Twitter or YouTube. So hi guys! And of course you can't even see how far a match is progressed. With as a result that you often enough join a match that has just ended or where one team is kicking the other one's butt. Which isn't that much fun either. So please fix that and watch my other video on it. Let's move on to the vehicles. I'm happy vehicles don't spawn instantly on the ground anymore when the spawn timer is over. But you can get them via the spawn menu, which I like for multiple reasons. You can use the DOC vehicles on vanilla maps. Want that French baguette tank on Amiens? You can go for it. Where the tank destroyer from Battlefield 3 was just limited to the armored kill maps, in BF1 you can use them on most maps, unless DICE locks down the spawns manually of course, like on Volga River for example. Then there are your own teammates. In Battlefield 3 when the pilot was too late to a helicopter, he often enough just shot a heli with an RPG, like the selfish bastard he is. If he can't get it, no one can. Another thing with, for example, the planes is that an enemy pilot can easily control the airspace by shooting a freshly spawned plane on the ground, and there doesn't even have to be someone inside it. And to be fair, what army builds a runway 200 meters away from the battlefield? Maybe one thing that can change is a spawn timer in the spawn screen like Hardline has for example. And as last, the self-repair. It stops blueberries from stealing your tank, which happens way too often in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, and is easily stopped by just damaging the vehicle, which at that point is basically a sitting duck. People like to say it kills teamwork and the engineer kit, but really? You can still spawn in as support and help your teammates. It doesn't even have a cooldown like the repair torch has. It also helps planes in the sky since they can't just land somewhere and repair that way. And since a stray bullet from a gun can stop the repair again, I'd say it's pretty balanced. Anyway, let me know what you think about my points. What do you want to see return, go or change? Leave it in the comment section. This was Danny and I see you on the battlefield.